Soul Game Saga Part 7 of Infinity. Awareness of the Soul King's Army Leadership. Soul Game Saga Part 7 of Infinity. Awareness of the Soul King Army's leadership. Awareness of the Soul King Army's leadership. Who's the Soul King? All of we. Moving forward. Details. This is going to be another detail-oriented video. Most of my my Soul Game Saga explanations are going to be detail-oriented videos. Reason why is because the primary whole purpose for my Soul Game Saga is to tell the world what we all logically feel like. You follow me? This is all what we logically feel like. So therefore, I'm just labeling and describing things based off of my reasoning or assessments of things that I validated. Because logic is reasoning conducted or assessed according to strict principles of validities. That's what logic defines as, literally. Reasoning conducted or assessed according to strict principles of validities. So I am just telling you what I have validated about our feelings from this world in regards to what we all actually feel like. Real quick, before I go into these first 10 ranks here, because there's 10 ranks. 10 ranks to label and describe the Soul King Army's leadership. Before I go in, did you know this entire universe is just love? Did you know that? Did you know this entire universe is a set? What kind of set? This entire universe is a set of just love. Meaning, this entire universe is a setting of just love. Just. What does the word just mean? What is upright and exact. So that means the word just is another way to say the word balance. Just like the word equanimity, the one that our brother Nick Cannon came up with, or that Nick Cannon has said out loud when he was interviewing brother Umar Johnson. When he was interviewing him, equanimity, that's another word for balance. Or equipoised, that's another word for balance. And did you know another word for balance is just? Just. Whatever is upright and steady, even. The exact way it should be. No deviations, no interruptions, undisturbed, leveled. Just is balance. What is just is balance. Justice is the deliverance of balance. Justice is the delivery of balance. You deliver balance with justice. And you get it back to being just when it is balance. Everything is just love in this universe. This universe is a setting that's just love, balanced love. Did you also know this entire planet, logically speaking, and or according to what I have gathered, this entire planet is one village, one neighborhood. This entire planet is our hood. Did you know that? I'm getting somewhere with it. This entire planet is our hood. The whole thing is, what set you claim? What set you claim? Did you know that every gang on this planet is claiming a set that is false? Imagine if every gangster on this planet, including the Yakuza gang and the Hells Angels, just for kicks and giggles, imagine if they all united to go against the one common enemy in which every gang on this planet has, the government. Imagine if the set all of you gangs claimed was the planet. Did you know there are bad people on your block? You know this entire world is your block? Did you know that? Awareness of the Soul King Army's leadership. 10 ranks, the first 5. General of the Army. Oh yeah, first, I'm gonna say this before I go in. I am using everything that you all have against you. Genesis chapter 50, verse 20. Take everything in which the enemy meant for evil and turn it for good. The army, the military force, the government, all of that's the people who are bad on our block right now currently. Want to know why? Because they're executing the devil's oppressive and violent force of nature, but it's still just the one devil's nature, the foundation of hatred. So I'm just gonna summon an army in the spirit and tear it all apart. Here. This is how I'm going to summon this army in the spirit, by using your military ranks to label and describe my military ranks. I'm the Soul King. I'm the Soul's first lieutenant. I'm the Soul King and the Soul's first lieutenant. Just like the Shango, the Thunderer spirit in me, is the colonel and also a general simultaneously. You'll get what that means in a second. Now watch this. So, as I said, I'm essentially about to use this so-called American's military force and the ranks thereof to label and describe the Soul King's military force and the ranks thereof, starting with the leadership. I also have one for the Marine Corps. I also have one for the Army. And I also am working on having one for the Navy as well. But I'm just taking your ranks and I'm using them for my purposes. This is my Soul King Army's leadership. Awareness of my Soul King Army's leadership. 10 ranks. First 5. Just going to list them off to you. In the Army, the top 5 ranks are General of the Army, 1. Then you got General, just regular General, 2. 5-star General of the Army, 4-star General. And then you also have the third one being Lieutenant General. And then you have the fourth one being Major General. And then you have the fifth one being Brigadier General. Those top 5 ranks there. When you look online and just study the list that they have thereof for you. It just tells you what the military ranks are if you ever want to look them up and know. So I'm just going to use them for my purposes now. The Soul King's Army. Once again, those first 5. General of the Army. I also did some research on the real life generals of the armies. It turns out there was about 4 or 5 of them in history. They don't even have one today. They don't have one right now. Well, you're about to now. You're about to in a moment. I'm going to tell you. First 5 ranks. General of the Army. Then just regular general. Then going from top to bottom, you got Lieutenant General. Then below Lieutenant General, you have Major General. Then below Major General, you got Brigadier General. And then going up, you start off with Brigadier General, Major General, Lieutenant General, Regular General, then General of the Army. And then the 4 ranks after that I want to tell you about, that I want to highlight as 4 ranks. You have Colonel, Lieutenant Colonel, Major, and Captain. Colonel, Lieutenant Colonel, Major, and Captain. Those are the next 4 ranks after those first 5. It's 10 ranks in total. Colonel, Lieutenant Colonel, Major, and Captain. Colonel, Lieutenant Colonel, Major, and Captain. I'm saying it's 10 though. And then after that, you got 2 last ones. First Lieutenant and Second Lieutenant. Wouldn't that be 11 then? I keep counting it as 10. Well, here's the thing. The General of the Army is a special rank. So therefore, they don't count it. So every rank from General on down, just those 10 ranks. But the General of the Army is a special rank. So they don't count it as 11. But it's 11 ranks from what I'm studying. But you say it's 10 because, you know, it stops at General. But then General of the Army is the 11th special rank. But it's 10 ranks though. 11 for right now. So here, I have specific things that I learned of in which I am going to apply as people and or leaders, so to speak, of this here Soul King Army. And the things that I have learned of was from all of your religious beliefs, all of the things that I have studied over since 2023, culminated into this idea right here. This was the big thing right here, because once I've successfully put this army into the spiritual air, it's essentially going to march in, attack, conquer, dominate, and destroy the mental prison city, plaguing our mind, heart, psyche space. As within, so throughout. When the city is destroyed internally, the city will also be destroyed externally. And also, too, once the army is summoned internally, the army will also be summoned externally. What army? What city are you destroying? If the universe itself is a foundational setting of just love, then what art thou destroying internally and externally in your process of summoning and sickening this army on it? Foundation of hatred. Just hatred. That's what they're destroying. That's what my Soul King army is getting ready to destroy. So, details. You got, once again, those 11 ranks, but they say it's 10. It's 11 ranks because of the general of the army is the 11th one. What are the details here? Who is and or what will play as the general of the Soul King's army? What will play as the general of the Soul King's army? The information I studied that can be labeled and described as the Pancha Mahabhuts. The Pancha Mahabhuts. What are the Pancha Mahabhuts? The word Panch means 5. The word Maha means great. And the word Mahuts, Buddhas, 5. No, the Pancha Mahabhuts. It's difficult to remember these things sometimes. But I'm about to simplify it in a minute, though. It means great elements. The 5 great elements. What are the 5 great elements? Ether, air, fire, water, and earth. Ether, air, fire, water, and earth. Those are the 5 great elements. The Pancha Mahabhuts are Hinduism. It's Buddhism. It's a information from the Rig Veda scriptures and things of that nature. And it talks about the 5 great elements of our universe in which manifests to and throughout us all into our reality. You follow what I'm saying? Now, these Pancha Mahabhuts, they are all labeled and described as characters in Hindu literature and Hindu cosmology. And these characters are divas. I kept saying devas for a while, but they're pronounced divas, like D-I-V-A, but it's just spelled D-E-V-A. Divas. You follow what I'm saying? And these diva gods, these Hindu gods, because that's what they are. In other words, the divas are just like the Pharos and or Egyptian gods, as well as the Orishas, and as well as the angels. They're all the same thing, or all the same type of thing. Guardian deities, in which give you memories of how your divine character traits behave. That's all the divas are. That's all the angels are. That's all the Orishas are. That's all the Pharos are. Did they exist? Yeah, they did. And what they left behind were descriptions, so to speak, of how you behave definitively, your natural character traits. They figured us out, long story short. And of course, due to us being governed and or ran by the same demon entity for the past umpteen thousands of millions of years, we all know what happens to people when they figure things out. You just get taken out, or you get branded or hated or in some kind of way, or deemed as crazy, or you get idolized. Did you know those divas who existed in physical form, like Shango, for example, were just individuals who figured it out, or who had a special kind of light brain in their mind, giving them the abilities to see, label, and describe things? We can see the obvious. Why can't you? You want to know why it's so difficult for you to see the obvious? Because you've been getting attacked by the same obvious blinder for thousands of years, with the same childlike arrogance, the same entrenchment style, the same tactics, the same. It's all been the same for eons, since Ra, since all of the pharaohs of Egypt, since everyone. Believe whatever you want, though. My good brother Carson says he doesn't believe that the planet was one continent before. Believe whatever you want. But to me, logically speaking, it was. This entire planet is one block. This entire planet is one neighborhood. And we have one army in the spirit, in which I am telling you the leadership of, that as soon as we summon, destroys the evil city plaguing our mind, heart, space, psyches, consciousness, and preventing us from doing the right things in our lives. Details about the 5 great elements, though, before I say some more things about the generals of the soul army, the soul generals of the army. They are of Akasha, the queen of all queens. You have Agni, or you have Vayu, the god of air in Hindu mythology, another diva. The diva god of air in Hindu mythology. That's what he is. Vayu or Vayu. Then you have Agni, the god of fire, the diva god of fire in Hindu cosmology. And then you have Jala, which is not a god, it's a thing in Hindu cosmology. And the thing that Jala is the water in which flows to and throughout the Nadis chakra to manifest into the world as Vayana, or as our emotion. And then the final one, you have goddess Prithvi, the earth goddess Prithvi. Now these 5 goddesses are all, these 4 individual these 2 goddesses and these 2 gods, they are going to play as generals of my here Soul King's army. And Akasha just so happens to be my wife. So yeah, my wife is a soul general in the Soul King's army. My wife is. And Akasha is the spirit. The Akasha means ether. Akasha is the ethereal element itself. So that means that the ether of the universe itself, not only is the ether of the world my wife, but it is also the soul general of my army here. You follow what I'm saying? My wife is an army general. My wife is a freaking army general. How awesome would that be to say, yeah? My wife is a freaking army general. Isn't that awesome? And I just so happen to be the king of this army that my wife is a general of. Almost like Black Panther. What a story, huh? What say you, general? Yeah, my wife is the general of my soul army. Moving forward now. So yeah, more information though. Now, all 33 divas in Hindu cosmology are going to be generals of my soul army. Soul generals of the army. All 33 of them are. There's about 11 on 3 planes of existence. The Pancha Mahabhuts exist on the 2nd plane where the emotions reside in the connection to our elements and whatnot, because they are the elements. Just the elements made characters and put into form. That's all they are. It's just things turned into people for religious indoctrination, I want to guess. Because, you know, Hinduism is only 5,000 years old. So, you know, just religious indoctrination, or, you know, just some kind of way to keep connected with the stars and the way the cosmos works to and throughout us all. I respect everything that you are, but at the same time, I don't. Don't ever forget that. Please don't. I don't do this for money or validation. I do this to get out of hell. I don't do this for clout or attention. I do this to go home. I'm not some priest, I'm not some chosen one, I'm none of these things at all. I am just a man with a conviction God will have his world. So all 33 divas are going to be generals of the soul army, or soul generals of the army. Soul generals of the army. Got to put the soul first and then the rank name. Soul generals of the army. All 33 of them are. However, to focus for the focus of this video right here, just those 5, including my wife, Queen Akasha, the queen of all queens and goddess of all goddesses. You ain't got to bow or worship or kneel to her. You just got to know who she is and why you should trust her. That's all you got to do with my wife, Akasha. And you want to know something else? Akasha is also every man's wife, as one whole spirit soul, or soul spirit. Akasha is the seat of the soul. Moving forward. So that ends that right there. All 33 divas from Hindu cosmology. I'm going to do more studying on who the divas are so I can give you more names. But right now, those top 5, those Pancha Mahabhuts, those are the 5 that we need to know about for the soul generals of the army right there. But there are 33 divas in total, according to the information. Now, the next 10 ranks. The Orishas. Orishas are going to play as the generals, or soul generals. Remember, you got the soul generals of the army being the Pancha Mahabhuts, or the 33 divas. And then you have the Orishas, the 4-star general, the soul 4-star general. Orishas will play as the generals. Did you know there are about 400 plus one Orishas, and they're all going to be generals? However, for this video, there are 4 because of that 4 stars that I want you to think about. And those 4 are me, myself, and I, as in Shango the Thunderer. Not me actually, the Shango the Thunderer, you know. Shango the Thunderer being one of them. And then my 3 wives. Who are my 3 wives? My wonderful, magnificent Oshun, my beautiful, glorious Oba, and my wonderful, mighty, strong, and powerful Oya, the god of winds, goddess of winds, the goddess of winds and storms, Oya. And you want to know something else too? I've also added a 10th chakra to the 9-fold chakra hierarchy listing, and Oya represents this here 10th chakra. And what is the chakra that I added? The Akasha chakra, or the ethereal chakra. So I ethereally really added a 10th chakra to my list, and it's the Akasha chakra, and Oya represents the Akasha chakra. So am I saying that the Akasha, my wife, my ethereal wife, is the general of the army and general simultaneously? Sure. It's all the same thing. Just one big old parable to culminate into something that you will never be able to escape from. The obligation to do better for all the days of your lives. So, all of the Orishas will play as generals. There are 400, I got 400 plus one of generals in my Soul King's army. They're going to play as soul generals here. Next rank. And Orishas, once again, are the same as the angels or the pharaohs of Egypt and so on and so forth. You follow what I'm saying? But the next rank, Lieutenant General. Lieutenant General. Who is going to play as the Lieutenant General? The angels themselves, or the 9 choirs of angels, will play as the Lieutenant Generals. The Lieutenant Generals harbor a 3-star. You see it's 3 and a 4 and a 5, according to the listing online there. Just one big old training boot camp to put so much spiritual power into the melanated people's hands, they'll never be able to get enslaved again, ever again. Moving forward, so you got the next one being the Lieutenant Generals, just the angels. What does a 3-star represent for it though? The mind, heart, body. Remember, there are 3 senses within the choir. You have the seraphim, cherubim, and the throne. That's the first 3. Then you have not virtues, principalities, powers, and then principalities. What was it? Principalities, powers, and was it virtues? No, it wasn't virtues. Start from the bottom. Angels, archangels, virtues, powers, principalities, dominions. That's what I missed. Dominions. Okay. And then you got throne, cherubim, and seraphim. So the bottom 3 are the first sense. They are angels, archangels, virtues when you look at it properly, because it'll land on our circle chakra if you look at it in that regard. And our virtuous sacral chakra it needs to be what we stand on, because it's our physical subconscious mind. Our physical subconscious mind is what feeds energy to our brains and gives it its abilities to go. And then our brain feeds to the environment of our subconscious simultaneously. And they work hand in hand together. Clear it out so you can see what it just is. And you won't be so confused about it anymore. Clear it out. That's what this parable ought to do. Help clear it out. Lieutenant Generals. Choirs. 3 senses, 3 stars. Mind, heart, body. Body, angels, archangels, virtues, heart, powers, principalities, dominions, mind or transcendence plane, thrones, cherubim and seraphim. Moving forward now. Now you have the major generals. Who are the major generals going to be? Oh, wait. Quick reading from the book of Revelation, chapter 5, verse 11. It says, "And beheld I," meaning John the Baptist, "and I heard the voice of many angels round about the throne, and beasts and the elders, and the number of them was 10,000 times 10,000, and thousands of thousands." So that means That's how many lieutenant generals are in this army here. 10,000 times 10,000 and thousands of thousands. Like I'm going to tell you one thing thousands of times. Anyways, 10,000 times and 10,000 ways and thousands of variations. I'm going to tell you one thing. Soul freedom, soul liberation, soul sovereignty, soul coexistence. Life supremacy. Your life. You are in charge of it. And you got 10,000 times 10,000 and thousands of things that are going to be acting as lieutenant generals to help you maintain and preserve the control you have over your own life. What's 10,000 times 10,000? 100,000. 100 million. 100 million. 6 zeros, right? Yeah. Moving forward. So, what's the next rank then? Since we got 10,000 times 10,000 and thousands of lieutenant generals in this here Soul King army, what's the next rank? Since our army is so freaking massive, the leadership alone seem like they can get the job done, especially since we're only destroying one city with 7 buildings in it. But nah, you'll see what I mean. Here, the next part of the army, the major generals. Who are the major generals for my Soul King's army? Who are the Soul Major Generals? What's the Soul Major General of my Soul King's army? The Pharaoh gods of Egypt. All of the ancient Egyptian Pharaoh gods. All of them. Especially gods like Ra. Especially gods like Thoth. Especially gods like Shu, the god of wind. Especially gods like Amun. All of them. Did you know there are approximately 1,400 to 2,000 known different Egyptian mythology gods? All the information over in that there Africa. Ancient Egyptian mythology. There were about 1,400 to 2,000 known ancient Egyptian mythology gods and or pharaohs. So that means for my here Soul King army, my major generals, I'm going to have about 1,400 to 2,000 of them. And they're all the Egyptian gods. I got 2,000 Egyptian gods in my brain right now. 2,000 Egyptian gods in my epistemology, all looking to lay waste to the city, plaguing its family's mind, heart space. I'm going to summon the Soul King in the spirit. And then I'm going to get him to attack the city in the spirit. Then I'm going to get him to destroy the city and lay waste to it and disintegrate it in every way possible. And then once this is finally successfully takes place, all of you so-called human beings, especially you black folks, will never be enslaved to anything ever again. Ever again. Enslaved to what? Failing at everything, enslaved, suffering to death. But hold on, wait. You just said they're never going to be enslaved to anything ever again. But you want to enslave them to love, just love, don't you? Did you know you technically can't not be enslaved by love? How can you be enslaved by yourself unless you're choosing to enslave yourself? Or unless something got past all 2,000 of the Egyptian god major generals in your brain and just made you stupid enough to enslave yourselves, which it did for 2,000 years. Got past all 2,000 Egyptian major generals in your head, Egyptian major general gods in your head, and made you enslave yourselves. They put you on stupid autopilot. You gotta be stupid to forget about the 2,000 Egyptian gods. You want to know something? I did. I was stupid. So I just figured things out so I wouldn't be anymore. And now I just realized I just want to go home. Sit. More information. Now the final one. Who are the Brigadier Generals, and or what is the Brigadier General, and or who is the Brigadier General? The 10 chakra system is the Brigadier General of this here Soul King army. The 10 chakra system. Remember, it's just a big old parable that I'm using all of your stuff for to make minds make more sense. The 5th one being the Brigadier General. Who's going to be the Brigadier General? The 10 chakra system. 10 chakras? We know of 9, right? The soul star chakra, the crown chakra, the third eye chakra, the throat chakra, then the heart chakra, the solar plexus chakra, the sacral chakra, the root chakra, and the earth star chakra. That's 9, right? What's the 10th one? The Akasha chakra, my wife. The Brigadier General has 1 star. Well, did you know all 10 of these chakras are one person? You. Just like all 10,000 Egyptian gods are you, or 2,000 Egyptian gods are you. All 400 plus 1 Orishas are you. All 33 divas are you. And all 10,000 times 10,000 and thousands of angels are all you. They all culminate to the one fantastically magnificent thing in which you are, God. You can believe whatever you want, though. Moving forward. So the next 4 ranks now. Who are the next 4 ranks? Let's talk about them. The next 4 ranks of my Soul King's army. Colonel, Lieutenant Colonel, Major and Captain, counting them down. Colonel, Lieutenant Colonel, Major and Captain. Colonel is above Lieutenant Colonel. Lieutenant Colonel is above Major. And Major is above Captain. Captain Ibrahim Traore, huh? Captain Ibrahim Traore outranks me. You know, I wouldn't mind working for that brother there. I wouldn't mind following every instruction he has to the bone. I really wouldn't. So yeah, I'd definitely be Captain Ibrahim Traore's first lieutenant. I definitely would be. Wouldn't even mind at all. Moving forward though, here. Colonel, Lieutenant Colonel, Major, and Captain. Who are they, or who art they? The things that I made up. So in other words, establish Yahusha. Infinity. The home saga. Not a game. Home saga. That there is going to be the Colonel, or the 9 great fathers within that home saga story arc that I'm getting ready to tell you all about when we get home.